What's happening, guys? Cap over here, and welcome to our week 2 battle in the NPL Division 2, as today we're taking on Professor Chipboard, coach of the Bristol Bulus, and coach of this pretty scary team. Pretty scary. But if you want to check out his perspective, be sure to look in the description down below. And this game is pretty big for both of us because this is an in-division game, which means we can potentially move up one ahead of each other. And we can take one game from each other too. So that's always good when you can do that. And it's always good when you can do that, especially with like things like Pheromosa, Houndoom, Zygarde, Zapdos, so many big threats on his team. This matchup was perhaps one of the toughest matchups that I had to really wrap my head around. Not just because of solely Pheromosa, he's got a phenomenally built team. He has things like, for example, the 6-po one does not clearly reflect the team that he has. He has like Granbull, he has like Tangrowth, Porygon Z with Z conversion, that is his Z mon over there. Musharna is the only thing that was like, I don't think he's gonna bring it because I have Weavile. So he's got a lot of things that I had to take into consideration and make sure I had checks or something, a way to deal with it, especially when you have things like Z conversion. That's something that I do not want to get swept by. I also didn't want Pheromosa to sweep me, so that was something that I really wanted to not happen. So in order for me to not have that happen, I got some advice and help from my friend Zappy. I'll link his channel in the description down below too. He really helped me a lot making these sets, and I felt a lot more confident going into this battle if I had not prepped with him. So thank you so much, Zappy. I know I've said thank you so much to you, but I really do appreciate it. And I'll talk a bit about the team that we have in the matchup in terms of what's going on over here. It looks like a disaster on my end. I have like, you know, my team doesn't look as full as his team. So anywho, we've got our Weavile over here, which destroys everything on his team, and it actually does. I need to scout out to see if Jellicent doesn't have a Colbur Berry, so if I don't see leftovers or anything like that, then that gives me a good indication that it doesn't have it. Pheromosa needs to be at 74 or below so Aisha can take it down, and I'm pretty sure everything on his team goes down to Weavile if I just get a bit of chip damage. So Weavile could potentially sweep over here if I get rid of his Scarfers, if I get rid of his pretty much everything on his team. So we're good on that department. Roserade is here to set up spikes. He doesn't have a lot of hazard removal. If Zapdos does not put pressure on me, literally, like if it doesn't have the ability pressure, then that's a good indication that it's just static, so that's always good to note. Just Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb with Synthesis. It walls Jellicent, it walls Nidoqueen, it walls Zapdos that doesn't have Heat Wave, so it's just something that is really nice. However, it does not want Zygarde to come in on it. That would be bad, very bad. We've got Keldeo over here just to deal with, you know, Choice Scarf Keldeo, pretty standard. It's actually just absolutely standard. And I put Hidden Power Ghost just to deal with Jellicent because Jellicent actually walls this thing to a T. It is frightening how good it is on walling my Keldeo. So that's a matchup that you have to watch out for, but it does do a lot of work on his team, and it's something that I had to take into consideration too, just in case Zygarde gets out of hand over there. Latias over here is just a Reflect, Calm Mind, Dragon Pulse, and a recovery move. Latias, I actually put Roost on it for some reason. I thought it was Recover, and yeah, it's just meant to. It's my only decent check to Zygarde, I guess. I know I have Gligar too, but I figured you know Gligar won't do a lot to it. But Latias actually does take it down when it's at 85% or something like that, with the vestments that I have on it. So if it doesn't have any HP or anything like that, I could potentially take it down. And I can even set up a Reflect too on things like Zapdos, Jellicent, and Nidoqueen. So those are things that I have to really play around with and make sure that I play a good game in that part. And then we have my only decent check to Pheromosa. This is a stressed check because Pheromosa still takes it down. Pheromosa will take down Rotom at any time of the day, pretty much. But it does have Rocky Helmet, so Rotom's sole job over here is just to get hit physically, which sounds bad, which sounds really bad. But it's just a Rotom to get abused. If Rotom does more work, then awesome, that's incredible. Good job, Rotom, because you did that. But it needs to get Pheromosa below 74%, which is, like, I cannot stress that enough. That's its only job right now, and it does sort of wall Zapdos. It does sort of wall. It does wall Nidoqueen. It actually does, which is surprising. And then we've got our Magearna over here with the Choco Berry. Once again, just our safety net for Zygarde. Ice Beam takes it down completely, and if he reveals something and it's the late game, then I can take a good indication of like, yep, this is a safe switch. I can bring in Magearna, and we can sort of finish off Zygarde. So Zygarde's never going to get out of hand over here if we play smart. So at this point, I'm like, alright, scary team, I need to get rid of Houndoom, I need to get rid of Zygarde, and I just need to make sure Pheromosa keeps on, like, its HP keeps on going down. So I figured, you know what, Latias is a good switch, or a good lead, because he might lead with Nidoqueen, he might lead with Zapdos, or even then he might lead off with Zygarde. So I was hoping that he wouldn't lead off with Pheromosa or Houndoom, but what do you know, he leads off with Maul. Great name for this dog, because it's just frightening and it does a lot of work to my team, so I have to switch into Keldeo. Keldeo will not take a Solar Beam, but it just goes for Dark Pulse, which raises my attack, so that's always good to note as he sends out his Jellicent. And like I said before, Jellicent walls my Pokemon. So I see that he is a Will-O-Wisp set, which is fantastic because that allows me to wall this thing even more. And if he switches out, then that's even awesome. But this allows me to set up my first layer of spikes, which is something that I really need to happen. I just put pressure on his team. If I see if it's a Life Orb Pheromosa, then that's good. That's really good. So plan a game or get some layers. Awesome. I see that this isn't a pressure Zapdos, which is something to really key in on. There we go, I can speak. Which means spikes are going to be staying on, and I can really keep on sending these spikes up. I just need to make sure I keep on getting hazards up and make sure I can get Pheromosa in, I can get Houndoom in. I just got to keep on getting that pressure going on. So it's something that I was taking into consideration over here. And I'm just going to switch out because I cannot risk the Heat Wave. Right now, Roserade is just way too important. And he brings out Leia, which is fantastic for me because 88%. And suddenly it's at 72%. Rotom has done its job, so I have a bit more flexibility with Rotom right now at this point if it gets more damage, because once Pheromosa comes in, it takes more spike damage. So Rotom, well done, you've done your job. You can get Abuse some more, or you can go for Volt Switch, or you can do something like that. So Houndoom comes in at 88%. It's actually in range where Brick Break will take it down, so that's even more awesome, and I can just let this pony take some more hits. He does have Hidden Power Grass or Electric, but once again he brings in Jellicent, and Jellicent walls me. Makes a good double over here, brings in Pheromosa, and I'm just like, you know what, I can sack off my pony over here. But he goes for U-turn, does not get the sack, and I'm like, alright, that's fine. He does bring out Zygarde, which at this point I was like, is it going to go for Extreme Speed or Dragon Dance? If he goes for Dragon Dance, then that puts me in a bad situation. But I think he's going to go for Dragon Pulse or one of those moves because that's his best wave. So at this point I was like, let's make the middle ground play. I'm clicking Scald just in case I could get the burn or something. He doesn't have any way of healing his Mons. And he just goes for the E-Speed. So I'm down one, but I'm looking pretty good at this point. And I can bring up my La Capitina over here because this is just my game plan. If Zygarde comes in, I gotta bring out my captain. I gotta go for the D-Pulse, and if he goes for Outrage, then that sucks. But at least I'll know I can take it down because I did the calcs. 88% is enough damage for me to take it down. So this is just the middle ground play over here. He brings out Zapdos, and I'm like, that's okay, that's okay. And over here, I need to scout out for Toxic. Toxic was something that I was really scared of. It was something that Zappy and I did talk about, was if Zapdos could potentially have Toxic and how sucky that would be. So I was like, all right, let's not let that happen. So that's why I do end up switching out into Rotom. So I see that he goes for Volt Switch, and I still don't have a lot of information in terms of this Zapdos. I don't know if it's Choice Scarf. I don't know if it has Toxic. So it's something that I'm pretty scared of. And at this point, I do have to sack off 8-Bit. 8-Bit did its job, and Maul is just here looking pretty scary. It's at 76%, so that's enough damage for it to go down to Ice Shard. No, not Ice Shard, Brick Break. So I can bring out Weavile, and Weavile gets a KO over here on pretty much everything, and I take out this big threat. I take out this monster of a beast over here, Maul. Maul was the thing that could potentially destroy my team. So taking out was pretty big for me. And I can slowly build up some momentum over here because I just bring out Roserade once more. I don't have the pressure of Houndoom looming over me, so that's always good. That's a good indication that, you know, I'm playing pretty fine on that. And he brings up Bulba. I go for the middle ground play. I didn't want Pheromosa to come in because I lost my check to Pheromosa, and I don't want it to just go for U-turn and lose Roserade, especially when it does wall Nidoqueen and it does wall Jellicent. So I was like, oh boy, this is not good. This is not good. Especially, like, I don't know if Zapdos does have Heat Wave, so that's something that I was like, alright, I don't know. I'm not sure. Fortunately for me, I can send out La Capuchina, set up a Reflect. I can do a lot of things right here. And I set up my Reflect, which is big because Pheromosa can come in and do some work. And I can set up a Calm Mind. So I'm like, alright, +1 already, looking pretty solid. Dragonfall gets a crit. Now, I don't know if this crit was big or not. I don't know if Zapdos is still 2 at KO range. It allows me to do a lot more work to the rest of his team. So at this point, I'm like, all right, boys, we're taking out Zapdos. Zapdos gone is big for a lot of things. He does reveal Toxic, which sucks, but since the Reflect is up, I can take this U-turn, I can eat it up, nom nom nom, and I can go for the Recover and actually boost off the damage that he did to me, which is fantastic. That's big for me because I go for the Dragon Falls, take out the Jellicent. Jellicent going down, it's not too big, but at this point I have to go for Dragon Pulse at this point. He reveals the Haban Berry, which is frightening because Haban Berry allows him to take the hit really well, and this allows him to set up a Dragon Dance, which is bad, very bad. that is not good, not good news bears. Because at that point I had revealed all of my 4 moves. He didn't know if I had Ice Beam, so not having the Ice Beam move, oh, it was scary. So I have to think about this for a minute when he takes me down. Toxic actually takes me down. I bring out Magearna, ran the calculations, and if he's Jolly, oh, that's bad, because I don't have enough information. Because I didn't, like, the only things that Zygarde have taken down is a 1 or 2 HP Keldeo, and he just stalled out my Latias. Well, sort of stalled. He just let Toxic take me down because it was just the better play. So at this point, I'm like, alright, I have to reveal the Shock Barrier, and I just gotta get rid of the Zygarde because Weavile still wins. At this point, Weavile wins. I was just seeing if I could change the differential. So I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam. 1,000 arrows will happen, and I eat it up relatively well. 53% is not bad, but I just preserved Magearna over here. At this point, I'm like, alright, you know what? I just gotta sack this thing off. It would have been crazy if I real Protect over there. But Tinder can come in and finish off the battle. I can go for Ice Shard. And we're gonna look like we run away with this victory with Weavile. All I have to do is click Icicle Crash, and it misses. Oh boy. It missed. And that sucks because I was like, I think it'll take me down. I think Nidoqueen will take me down, especially after playing a game relatively well. You know, having all my trap cards activate at the moment there, and it just misses, and I was like, oh no. Am I gonna lose a game like this? This sucks. This sucks. Oh boy. He goes for Earth Power, and I live. The HP investment that I have on it, I still lived, and that's phenomenal. That is unbelievably great. I still think it's a roll for Icicle Crash to take it down. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Depends on his investments. If he's physically defensive, I think it's a roll. But if he's something else, then it's not. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. Round 2. Here we go. We landed and we take it down. Thank God. Weavile still lives thanks to the Light Orb. And we get our victory over there. Oh, a bit of a mini heart attack over there because that would have been the worst way to lose a match. If it came down to Roserade and Nidoqueen, it would have been a long battle. It would have been a battle of Giga Drain and I think Earth Power or Sludge Wave or something like that. And he told me he was especially defensive at the end of the match. So it would have been a long battle. It would have been a long battle. I don't know who would have came out victorious. If he didn't have Ice Beam, then it might have been a bit different, but it would have been a long battle either way. So GG to Professor Chipboard. I highly recommend you check out his side of the battle. It was a really close battle, and I want to see his side of the battle too. So we'll go up 2-0, top of the division, And we're going to be looking pretty good over there, as next week we do have to prep once more. And thank you once again to Zappy. Check out his channel too. Look in the description down below. Click on it. Subscribe to his channel, his stuff. And yeah, this was a big victory for me, because the whole week I was just bashing my head how to beat Pheromosa, how to beat Houndoom, how to beat Zygarde, how to not have Jellicent check me. Ultimately I decided, you know what, Jellicent is just gonna check me, so let's let it be, right? And yeah, so big confidence booster, big win. And I'm pretty excited about that. I feel pretty good. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to check out everyone else's content in the NPL Division 2. Be sure to check out everything else. And thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get going. Have yourselves a good day. And yeah, bye.